Hello, fans, and any other people of EquestriaTalk. I'm currently working on a new intro since we've completely changed. I am here with the L Train, who is an amazing Brony musician. Why don't you say hey to everyone?
Hello, everyone. This is the L Train.
Yes, and first of all, I'm sure we're all wondering, where did the name come from?
Well, that was just my high school nickname, and I kind of just adopted it as a handle when I started doing stuff online, and it sort of stuck.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that's it. It's a pretty boring story, I know.
uh, it doesn't matter. I mean, a nickname I used to have in when I was younger is such a stupid nickname. It was Tomp.
Tomp.
I don't know why. I think Toad from the Mario Bros. Series had something to do with it. I used to be very short and had a big head, so I'm thinking.
So you look like Toad.
Yeah,
Oh, that's terrible.
I'm thinking Tim and Toad somehow mixed, and Tomp was somehow made, and they just for some reason added a P in there. I don't know. And I looked up
Yeah,
Tomp.
yeah.
I looked up Tomp, and apparently, it's some kind of radiation factory.
Tomp.
So. But
Right.
anyway, this isn't about me. This is about you. Another another
I was
question.
going to say it.
Another
Anyway.
question we are all wondering. I'm sure if you haven't already explained it on your channel, I'm a newer-ish fan, so I haven't watched all your videos yet. But I've heard a lot of your music, and it's amazing.
Thanks.
But how? What's your story of how you became a brony?
Oh, wow. Well, okay. I'll start by saying I read a lot of web comics. It's just something I do. And a couple of years ago, I noticed there was a whole bunch of them started making all these references to ponies, as people on the internet did or do.
Yeah.
They still do. Yeah, they still do. So I was sort of just wondering what is this thing? So I did a bit of googling, a bit of research, and I found out it was this fourth generation of My Little Pony that was apparently pretty good. So I decided I'd try and watch some episodes, and yeah. And then 2 days later, I woke up and I'm like, whoa, did I just watch the whole series or something? I think this was in between seasons 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, from there, yeah.
My I won't tell my entire story, but my story was I watched it at first and I didn't like it at all. So,
Yeah. And then someone convinced you to watch it again.
well, like I was seeing it all over the internet just like you, and I decided why don't I give it a try? I watched the first episode. Listen to that epic guitar, everyone.
Oh yeah, I'm currently holding my guitar.
Just when he's just doing nothing, he can play epically. Okay. um, but yeah, I decided to watch the first episode, and it's like, no, no, no. So of course I completely just said no, and I stopped. And then my brother decided to show me bunches of clips of like Fluttershy yelling at the dragon and everything. And
Yeah.
somehow I fell in love with the grimdark side,
Oh.
and I got obsessed with cupcakes. The
I
only
still haven't actually read Cupcakes,
really,
and I don't think I've missed out on much, really. Yeah,
if you
because I've
don't
heard it's actually pretty bad.
if you
Like,
don't like that kind of stuff, you know you're not
no,
missing
I
out.
don't really.
But being a big Silent Hill fan, which is of course you know what that is, right?
Vaguely.
Well,
I'm just gonna warn you now. I don't really play video games. So any video game references are likely to go straight over my head.
okay. Well,
Just want to.
Silent Hill is basically just this brutal game where you just basically your character goes through hell. In a
Okay.
sense, I guess. I mean, there's much more to it, but that's the easiest way to put it. Anyway, yeah, me being a Silent Hill fan, I did enjoy it. The only thing I did not enjoy was Sweet Apple Massacre, which is infamous in this fandom. I don't know if you know it.
No, I'm not really a grimdark reader.
That's good.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Don't
No,
ever.
I think because when I was like what you were saying about seeing the first couple of episodes and not enjoying it, I reckon that's actually pretty true of a lot of people. Like if you introduce them by just playing the pilot, or is it the pilot, the opening? that's kind of doesn't work. Because I remember when I was one of the first things I actually saw was who was it? Well, it was on a webcomic actually. They posted a YouTube clip of what is it? The start of Over a Barrel. You know, the Fluttershy,
Oh,
not a tree. And it's
yeah.
just all the characters all talking over each other, and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? I reckon that's what started me going, what is this show? Yeah.
Yeah. The episode I would have to say got me into it was A Canterlot Wedding. That
Oh
was
yeah, that's a great episode.
it is. Okay. Next question would be, what is the usual process of making your songs? Like, how would you say you like an original song? How do they usually come up as an idea?
You're asking where my ideas come from. Oh wow, they come
I,
from all sorts of places
that might
normally.
not be a good question. I wasn't.
Or like what the process is.
Yeah. What's your process of making your music?
Um, well, usually I start with some idea, or actually more often it's a concept. It's like a sort of idea of what sort of song I want to do. Like I'll see a picture or something and be like, I need to do something epic with that picture or that image or something like that.
Okay.
And then yeah, as you do, you'll try and come up with like melodies and chords and things. And I used to start out by like writing things out, tabbing things out, like as the actual sheet music, but I actually skip that step these days. I just go straight to recording on Pro Tools. That's my usual workstation software. I'll just sit there. I'll usually start by recording guitars, and then add drums, orchestra, or whatever else is in it, bass, etc., etc. And somehow there's a bunch of steps, and then somehow the other side pops a song. Yeah,
Somehow.
somehow. Yeah,
So
there's a process.
so you're able to make a song out of just a picture. That's
Well, it's not so much just a picture as like it gives you an idea of a sort of like a
well,
feeling you want to evoke or
well,
some
yeah.
sort of.
I didn't describe it very well, but that's actually very impressive to be able to make a song out of. I know a lot of people tend to do that. I don't know. I'm talking stupidity here. Just doing it. Just ignore me. Um,
All right.
um, I gotta admit, I completely went through all day without writing down questions. Usually I did, but today I'm not. I need to get back into being used to be doing interviews because we stopped for a long time. Let's see. I bet some people. I don't know if you've actually said this. Some people are wondering, what instruments do you use? Like what kind of guitar and stuff like that.
Well, my main. Well, we'll start with because I play a bunch of instruments, but I'll start with guitars because that's probably what most people are interested in. So my main guitar, which is the one I'm holding right now, actually is a Schecter 7-string. It's a Jeff Loomis signature. I'm not. Well, actually, no. I like Jeff Loomis. I'm not a particularly big fan of his, but I just thought his guitar was really cool, so I bought it, and that's my main guitar these days. It's a 7-string. I normally tune it to drop A, so that's A, E, A, D, G, B, E for everyone playing along at home. I just find that tuning makes a whole lot more sense. It's more, what's the word, cohesive.
Yeah.
I also have an old Schecter Omen sitting there on the rack over there. That's a 6-string. A couple of other. I have an acoustic and a weird guitar that I built over the Christmas holidays, where it was it's like it's a sort of I think you'd call it a parts caster,
Oh
like
yeah.
a Fender Stratocaster, but you like modify it and use different parts. And I put a baritone neck on it, and I've tuned it down to like bass 6 tuning. It's like an octave below regular guitar,
Oh, that's cool.
which so you can do some cool things with that.
Sounds like
And yeah, and I've also got a 5-string bass sitting there, which is useful for hitting really low notes. And yeah,
okay. All right. And
if I had a camera with me, I'd pull it up and show you the guitar rack, but it's a bit difficult without a camera.
that's all right. Let's see. Oh, what was the song called? The opera. What's it called?
Moonrise.
Yeah, the
Moonrise.
Moonrise Opera. I believe it was. how did that start? Like, was it a group thing, or did it start with just an idea from you?
It was basically just me, because I'm not sure if you would have heard it, but it was the very first thing I posted on my channel was a symphonic metal tribute to My Little Pony. So I've been doing this symphonic metal thing for a fair while, and I was thinking I wanted to do like a big, like collaborative project, a big like just something big and epic to do with MLP, of course. And
Yeah.
if you think about it, there's really only one story that's obvious when you right. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
story of the royal princesses, of course, right?
Yeah.
So I think I had this idea like it must have been 3 years ago or something. It was ages ago now. And yeah, what was happening? I think I just finished another. I just finished the Zelda tribute or something like that. I'd finished some other project. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now?
Zelda.
And I had this epic idea in the back of my head, and I'm like, okay, I should just sit down and start writing, and I came up with some ideas, and yeah, it just sort of grew from there. Yeah, so I had so I started out. I wrote. I actually wrote the prelude first, which is a very, very strange way of doing things, because usually you write the rest of it and then you pull out certain bits and string them together
Yeah.
to make the sort of intro bit. But I actually started with that and went backwards, pulled out parts of that and be like, oh yeah, that would be cool for a guitar riff here, or etc etc. So I wrote that, and then from that I started trying to recruit people, and yeah, it just sort of grew from there. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure I can speak for a lot of people who listen to it when I say that it is pretty much a masterpiece. I mean,
Thanks.
I've never heard anything like it in the fandom, so honestly.
Yeah. See, I've got the issue now that I've got to like follow it up. I'm like, what?
Well,
people keep telling me that you need to do more of this. I'm like, but yeah.
It's true, you would need to follow up sometime, but I believe certain musicians have something that they do that's just so unbelievably amazing, and then they can settle down for a while and just post stuff that, would be, okay, this is cool, and then like a year later maybe post something bigger than last time or something. Like just kind of a landmark, kind of a landmark of their career.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing something basically like that. Yeah, I do have a couple of ideas of a follow up, but I don't want to give too much away. So
Yeah, because like there's certain musicians in this fandom that I won't mention that haven't been doing anything lately. I won't mention their names because I just don't want to get yelled at by people who I might still be a fan of, even though they don't post anything. I'm weird.
I won't say anything then.
Okay, let's see. It's kind of a simpler question. Where did the design for your OC come from?
Design?
Like
that was me playing around with the Pony Creator for like 3 days and not liking anything that came out. And at the end of it, I'm being like, yeah, that looks good enough.
It's basically kind of most people's story.
Yeah.
Because I know that's how I will admit, that's how I started on the pony design thing on DeviantArt. But I decided I'm going to get a free drawing, so I might as well just throw something in there. My OC came out, and it's like, I like it. It's cool. And
yeah,
so,
well, the OC came out of the Pony Creator. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I actually commissioned someone to do a proper drawing of it, and that came out. That was what's his name? Anadu Kuna, I think you pronounce it. Anyway, he did those. I think I'm using that as my channel background on YouTube or something. Anyway, he did that. He did that picture, and it was awesome. I'm like, that's what it's meant to look like.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you see the pony design from DeviantArt, it's like, and then you see an actual commission, it's like, the prophecy has been foretold.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost my train of thought for a minute. Okay, how long have you been writing music?
Writing? Oh, wow. Years and years. I remember writing stuff back in like primary school almost.
Oh, wow.
it wasn't very good. Um, but in terms of like rock and metal music, I sort of only really started getting into the metal thing sort of after high school. So, well, what would that be? Oh, that makes me feel old. Like 6 or 7 years now, I guess.
Let's see. Well, how recently did you start actually making like music?
Uh, depends on what you mean, what exactly you mean by making. But
Like
uh,
actually recording and posting music.
oh well, as as the L Train recording and posting music by myself, probably just under 3 years. I think it's 2.5 years or something like that. Um, but I've been doing stuff with my I had a what am I trying to think of here? I was in a well was still am really was in a band a little before that, and we recorded like an EP and actually it was a full album. It was a full album. We recorded a full album and sort of released that. So I guess that sort of counts. I was only playing keyboards there, not guitar and everything else. So
Okay.
I had a sort of lesser role to play there. But yeah.
For those of you listening, sorry about my annoying typing. I was typing stuff.
I'll mask it with some guitar.
All right. Sorry about my awkwardness right now. Like I said, I haven't written down any
Yes,
questions,
that's
and
okay.
I really need to get used to writing them down again. Let's see. It's too bad this isn't live stream, so that people can suggest questions. What has been your favorite episode of My Little Pony?
Oh wow. A Candlelit Wedding is definitely up there. Yeah, I don't know. Apart from that,
Okay. So, Candlelight Wedding.
yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Candlelit Wedding, just because of the music and the sort of Disney musicalness about it, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool, I
A
reckon.
Candlelight Wedding would be for me, but I also have to say Rarity Takes Manhattan. That was a really good one, too.
Yeah, it was alright.
I don't know. There was something about it. Rarity's one of my favorites, so. There's another question for you. Who's your favorite pony?
Am I allowed to say I don't really have one?
Yeah.
um, if we're talking in like people who've been following my channel probably realized I've done quite a few songs about Rainbow Dash. Mostly not because she's my favorite, but mostly just because she has the best soundtrack. And she sort of lends herself the best to doing, crazy
Rock.
metal things.
Well, yeah, she's pretty much the only one who has rock in her type, I guess, in her personality.
Yeah, well, except for Maud Pie, of course. But
I see what you did there. Mod Pie. That was a different episode. I didn't.
I ought to do a Maud Pie theme. Just make it the most rock I can. The hardest rock I can rock.
Oh,
Or something.
jeez. That's what you should name it. The hardest rock I can rock. Let's see. Sorry, I'm horrible at thinking of questions just out of nowhere. Let's see.
See, this is why it needs to be a live stream, so you can pull them from the chat.
That's the thing, though. We don't have enough fans. We don't have enough subscribers. Okay.
Don't we all?
Here's a hopefully a good question. What inspired you to do a cover of Discord?
That was right around. What episode was that? It was the episode where it was the second episode Discord appeared in. I forget the name of the episode. The one where Fluttershy has to like reform him and stuff.
Oh, keep calm, Flutter on.
And people kept like referencing Discord in like the lead up to that, referencing the song,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it sort of got stuck in my head. And yeah, that's what happens when songs get stuck in my head for too long. They come out.
I'm actually surprised that song isn't bigger than what it is, considering that's one of the most played songs of the fandom. So
I think I sort of missed the boat on that one. If I'd released that like a year earlier, maybe.
maybe, but I don't know. I still think today even today, yeah, it's one of the most played songs. Okay. Yeah, you can listen to him play guitar while I awkwardly think of another question.
I'm in the wrong tuning for this, but
Let's see. I guess for a good question, what advice would you give to newer musicians that are trying to get into making music?
oh wow, I'm probably the worst at giving that sort of advice, but probably don't try and be too critical on yourself. Like just create and put stuff out there, and that because I've found that's like the well, probably not the best, but like the quickest way to learn. Just just doing and putting stuff out there. If you sit there forever trying to polish up a song, and you're not ever going to ever going to actually finish much. And yeah, what I've found is the best way is just the best way to also to build like fans and other good things for musicians to do, but just to keep creating new things and not to dwell too much on a particular song or whatever. I mean, obviously, there are projects, and sometimes when you do want to spend a bit of time and actually get something sounding really good, but
Yeah.
a lot of the time, you're actually just wasting a whole bunch of time doing that. It's better just to get things out there and to have somewhere for something for people to talk about, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is coming out a lot more confusing than I thought it would, but
I think it's pretty clear what you're trying to say, though. I mean, a lot of people nowadays, I feel, are very critical of themselves. And basically, what people always say is, you're your own worst critic. That's what people always say.
Yeah. That's basically it. Just
Have fun.
just trying not to be too critical of yourself, and if you're doing this and you're not having fun, then stop,
Yeah, do something else.
Do something else. Yeah.
All right, here's a good question. If there was anyone in the fandom you could collab with, who would it be?
Oh wow. There's a long list.
Well, who would be at the top? Like number one.
I don't know who'd be at the top. Let's say I've actually wanted to do like some sort of crazy rock thing with a good singer like Ali Monty or someone like that for a while.
That'd be cool.
Maybe they'd be at the top.
That
yeah.
would be cool.
It's it's a timely question actually, because I'm actually starting on a project at the moment, which is going to involve like a series of collaborations.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I've got like 2 songs sort of on the go, and ideas for another 3, and yeah.
Would you happen to be willing to give a sneak peek to all your fans out there? Or do you want to just keep it all under? Do you want to just keep it all hidden?
Yeah. Well, I do have. What have I got? I can show you just the first bit of like the first song, I guess.
All right, well, here it is, everyone.
Just let me cue it. What's the best way of doing this actually? Not sure how to play things over Skype. If I play it, it probably won't appear in your audio or whatever. Where am I?
Well, if it's too hard, you don't have to. It was just a suggestion.
Just give me a tick here. I will just quickly edit this thing to pull out the stuff I don't want to.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I could go ahead and ask you another question if you want.
All right.
Okay. Out of the series, what do you think is the best in your opinion? Like, The animation, or the voice acting, or the music? What do you think
Uh,
has the most love put into it?
the most love? Well, definitely the most work has gone into the animation. Just because animation is lots of work.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
But definitely voice acting too, because
Yeah.
a lot of TV shows, especially like this, don't sound the best with voice actors. Like they don't sound like they really care.
Yeah, that's true.
But with My Little
Um,
Pony, they actually sound like they're having fun. They sound like they love what they're doing. They sound like they want to give us their best.
yeah, definitely. Now, I'd have to say it's probably the animation and or the music, because I reckon the music is it's it it's like you listen to other shows and then you listen to My Little Pony. It's like there's like daylight there. Like I don't even
Yeah.
get how they do that, but
I
well,
mean, I'm
I,
probably
I
gonna,
do. You know, there's a bunch of talented people behind it. That's how they do it. But
I'm I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate for this, but I am a SpongeBob fan, a newer SpongeBob fan,
you were
and
SpongeBob fan,
well, not like newer
as in
as
as in you're a new fan or you're a fan of new SpongeBob.
I'm a fan of both old and new SpongeBob. Like I've been following the series since day one, and a lot of people hate it now, but I still love it. And if you compare the music in that, and if you compare the music in My Little Pony, there's no contest. My Little Pony wins.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, because it
yeah.
does,
So you see my point. Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't feel like they give their full effort in SpongeBob, but in My Little Pony, it's like they're going all out. They're trying to make you feel the emotion they're feeling, and
yeah.
I've gone way too long on that. Sorry.
No, but yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You know, the music is just like something else. Did you hear that at all?
The song,
Yeah, what? Yes,
I heard a little bit.
actually
Yes.
playing a little bit. I'll actually put that on Dropbox and send that to you. I think actually that's probably the easiest. So you can
Okay.
like drop it in or whatever, or listen to it or something.
All right.
I don't know how your editing process works.
It's honestly, I just throw whatever. Like my editing process when I'm like, I do Let's Plays for those people who don't know. My editing process is kind of sloppy. I need to fix that up. I know that. But here's another question. Are there any Bernie conventions that you're planning on going to this year?
Wow. Yeah, no, that's actually really hard for me since I live in Australia. But not only that, but I live in like the wrong part of Australia. Like it's like a 2 hour flight to get to like the nearest Brony convention, which would probably be PonyCon AU, I think. I was originally planning on trying to get out to Sydney, I think they call it, which is the con in Sydney. It's a very
Okay.
clever pun, isn't it? Which end of September, I think. But I don't think I'm actually going to be able to make it. I was originally planning on giving a performance there, but after like considering things, it's just way too hard, and there's like a billion things that could go wrong that I can't actually do anything about, which is unfortunate. I was hoping to pull together like some sort of band or something for it, but yeah, it didn't really work out. and yeah,
Yeah.
and there's I had other things also end up being scheduled for around that time, and just got too hard, so I've had to cancel,
That
which is
sucks.
a shame. But
Well,
yeah,
there's always some other
hopefully
time.
someday I'll be able to do something. But yeah, so in general, it's just pretty hard, just so hard for me to get to a convention.
Yeah, it's hard
Unless
for a lot of people to get conventions.
basically anyone who doesn't live in America or like the UK or particular parts of Europe.
Well, I mean,
Maybe one day I'll get some convention to sponsor me to give me a flight to the US or something for
that'd be cool. Honestly, I live in the U.S.
also expensive.
And I live in the U.S. It's almost impossible for me to go to any kind of Brony convention. Mostly because
There's none near you.
there is ish, but I don't make much money at all.
Ah, yes, that would be a
And
problem.
and there's my fear of driving. So, yeah. I have everything against me right now. But oh well, whatever. Let's see. Here's another question people are I think you already said what editing software you use for music.
Yeah, yeah. My digital audio workstation, so DAW. I don't know how you pronounce that, but yeah, I use Pro Tools. Basically, I picked that up. Actually, it's back when my old band was recording an album. Like, it was just in the studio there, and obviously it's a professional studio. They use Pro Tools, and I just sort of picked up how the guy was doing Pro Tools there, and I actually ended up doing a lot of the sort of engineering work myself, because we sort of had a bit of schedule issues. So I ended up doing the keyboards myself, like on a sort of another room in the studio, just doing the keyboards by myself while they were recording guitars and whatever else, just because we didn't have enough time to do everything separately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was sort of a crash course in using Pro Tools, and since then that's just been what I use.
Okay.
It's a bit expensive, but yeah, it's
See,
sort of standard. So yeah,
it's funny to me. Making music and editing music is just completely foreign land. But video editing, it's like I love video editing, and it's like
yeah, it's interesting because there is actually quite a lot in common there. But I guess having lots of tracks going on and stuff is probably something video editing you don't normally do. So
yeah. Plus, I feel like there's more editing you have to do in the song itself than actually in videos. So I honestly think editing music is
yeah,
a lot harder.
that depends on how good your performing or your musical playing abilities are. So I tend to have to do a lot of editing on guitars.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
All right.
That was the other thing that was annoying, or not annoying, frustrating about Moonrise, getting the choir together, because when an actual choir sings together, right, people will tend to adjust their own voices, so everything's in time and in tune.
Yeah.
But when you're getting people recording separately, they don't do that. It's because you can't.
Yeah.
So you end up having to do that, with editing, and yeah, it was kind of painful getting all the choir editing together. But it ended up sounding alright, so I can't be too.
Well, ended up sounding perfect.
Oh, you haven't heard the choir by themselves.
Probably not. So, all right. This is probably a question a fan would ask. Have you heard of the new A Brony Tale movie?
I have heard of it. I have not seen it or heard much about it. Is that the one with what's her name, Ashley Ball?
Yeah, Ashley Ball narrates it.
Yeah.
And of course, it shows more of the Brony's life. Like for Dusty Cat, it shows him like working on motorcycles and stuff, like the manly man he is. And I asked them personally if it was going to be sold on DVD, and they said it will. So you'll be able to get it on. You'll be able to buy it on DVD. So anyone who can't go to see A Brony Tale in theaters or can't buy the DVD at BronyCon, don't worry. You'll be able to order it after BronyCon. So, yay!
They weren't paying for that plug, by the way. Just so you guys know, that was a completely unsolicited plug, right? They're not paying for this either.
Oh, to talk about it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're not paying me. I'm sorry. No, they're not paying me to talk about it. That was completely on my own will to talk about it. They are not paying me to talk about it. I promise you all. I mean, if you think they paid me, you can hate me. I don't care. But they aren't paying me. I would like the money, but seriously, pay me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Let's see. When you're okay, here's an interesting question. When you're sometimes writing music, do you just do you just sit there and just kind of strum and just make up what it would sound like? I know some people
Uh,
do that.
yeah. Is there a different way of doing it?
Well,
For guitar, like coming up with guitar riffs and melodies and things. Yeah, that's
I know some
pretty much the
people.
only way I've found that works. Like you have to sit there with the guitar and actually, play around. I have because I know of a few people who don't actually play guitar but put guitar in their songs, and you can
Yeah,
tell. You can tell that
that's
they never actually picked up the guitar and played it because the riffs just don't sound right.
yeah, that's the reason I asked because I have a few friends who don't actually even play the guitar, but they do that. And that's the reason I asked. It was a stupid question, I know, but I just had to get it off there.
No, it's not as stupid as you think, because there's a lot of instruments where you can do that. Like if you're doing orchestral arrangements and things, you can write, say, flute parts or trombone parts, and you don't necessarily have to have the instrument with you and to figure out, to write something that they can play and sounds good, But guitar is just something about the particular arrangement of, the strings and the fretting and everything, where you can't actually write riffs without the guitar being there.
Yeah. All right. Here's another good-ish question. What's your favorite band question is a little too hard, so I will ask the easier. I will ask the easier one.
That's a long answer.
What
Yes.
band or bands have you been listening to most of recently?
Well, recently, let me think.
Like just
Here's a weird one.
the top three or something.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Dream Theater recently.
Oh, they're
Uh,
good.
I actually really liked their latest album. It sounded pretty cool.
I need to
It's
hear
best
that.
best best thing they've done in like maybe 5 or 6 years. So, um, I've also been listening to a fair bit of Diablo Swing Orchestra. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like
Uh,
a crazy Swedish uh, crossover metal slash swing slash opera band.
I
They sort of
have
have you sort of have to hear them to understand.
I have
Uh,
not heard of them, but there is another orchestra in America that's kind of like them, or I don't know if they're like all around the world. The Siberian Orchestra, I forget.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, Diablo Swing Orchestra are basically nothing like them.
Well, no, I wasn't comparing them. That's the only type of metal orchestra I know of.
Yeah, they're not really an orchestra so much as they're just sort of like a swing band who also do metal and a bit of opera.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, you sort of have to hear them to understand what it's about.
Yeah,
Um,
some
yeah,
groups are like that.
but yeah, there may or may not be a song I'm working on which is kind of heavily influenced by them. So,
Ooh.
um, oh, and so if you know any like brass players be willing to play on a crazy swing metal track, yeah, let me know. So,
I don't know of
'cause that
any, but maybe those who are listening might and might suggest something.
yeah, that would be cool.
It would be.
What else? What else have I been listening? I've been listening a fair bit to Epica. You know about them? Dutch symphonic metal band.
Epic.
They
I've heard of them.
they released a new album a couple of months ago, I think, or recently anyway. And I've been listening to that a fair bit. That was pretty cool.
Okay,
Epica were a big influence on Moonrise, so
that's cool.
especially the vocal sort of arrangements. I mean, I didn't have a lot of the growling or screaming stuff like they did, but they do a lot of choir stuff. So
Okay,
yeah, that was that. They were the big sort of influence behind all the choir stuff I was including. So there
that's
you go.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's most of what I've been listening to. What else have I been listening to? Been listening to a bit of Tesseract as well.
Oh,
You know
I know
about them?
Yeah, I know them.
Like, are they gent? Is that what the new kids call them these days? Anyway, yeah, they're pretty. I've been listening to a bit of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's probably enough.
Do you
I listen to a
know?
lot of things, so I could go on all day about this. But you were saying? Sorry.
No, it's all right. Do you know the band Apocalyptica?
I've heard of them. They're like cellos that play
Yeah,
Metallica covers or something.
cello metal and stuff. They've had a bunch of like co-singers. Like they had the lead singer of 3 Days Grace in one of their songs. Then they had Corey Taylor in another song. They're not bad. They're another type of metal band. They're pretty good.
That you have to listen to understand what's going.
Yeah,
Understand what they're about. Yeah.
I mean they do
I
of
haven't actually
course.
heard. I haven't really heard them much. I have heard of them though.
Yeah, they're
If that
not
counts.
they're not the biggest of bands, but they're still good in my opinion. I mean, some covers that they do are, of course, just nothing but cellos and violins. And then they have songs that are both cello, violin, and metal. Um, let's see. If
Oh wow, that was terrible. I'm just commenting on my own guitar playing here.
no,
My
that's
fingers
great.
are cold because it's the middle of winter here, so the guitaring is not actually working all that well. Anyway,
I actually put a comment on that. I hate summer.
you hate summer.
Yes.
You should come to Australia where the summer gets up to like 40, 46 degrees. That's Celsius. I think it's like 110 Fahrenheit or something like that.
Wow. Yeah. No, no, thank
Bloody
you.
hot.
No, thank you. I'm okay with 90 degrees. Well,
Oh, that's barely even warming up. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, actually,
how?
that's like a warm winter's day here.
Oh,
I've had
jeez.
people comment like they come over from Europe during winter. And it's like this is like our summer, but no, this is Australian winter.
Well,
Anyway,
wait. So how cold does it get down there in winter, or over there?
uh, well, what was today's temperature? It was like 10 degrees maybe when I was out at the. That's Celsius. You'll have to do the conversions yourself. I don't know what that is. And it's like, actually, what would that be? Like 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit for all you bloody Americans out there. Uh, yeah, it would have been about that when I was at the market this morning.
Well, for us here in Michigan, the coldest it's been is about maybe almost 10 below.
That's Fahrenheit too. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, we don't get quite that cold here. The problem is like we build all our houses and things for the summer because if you don't, you actually die. Yeah, so it's just really cold here in winter. Not because it's actually cold, but just because we can't really deal with it.
It's because you're so used to heat.
Yeah, yeah. And our houses are sort of built for hot weather and don't really do all that well for cold weather.
Okay. Let's see. Here's another good-ish question about the show. What episode, in your opinion, has had, like, I don't know. Here's a better. What episode in the show do you feel like has connected to you more, like you could relate to the most?
Well, there was that time I caught my brother's fiance being replaced with it. No, I was just trying to say Candlelit Winning, but no, I
Yeah.
can't really relate to that. That's I'm not actually sure. Just trying to think through all the episodes. Maybe Party of One. When
Oh,
you
yeah.
you have all your friends and they're not like talking to you and you go a bit stir crazy,
Yeah.
or in Pinky's case, a lot crazy. Yeah, I can relate to that. You know, if you spend a bit too much time alone and people not talking to you and things get a bit crazy.
Yeah.
I think everyone's been there at least once. So.
Oh yeah. I think I can relate to Twilight and Fluttershy the most because you know how Twilight, if everything isn't perfect, she starts going a little bit loopy.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, I can relate to that too.
that's kind
I may or
of
may not have my old CDO, so I can relate.
yeah, that's kind of how I am with like this show. If someone's not sticking to the schedule, it's like I'll keep bothering them so that they'll stick to the schedule or something. I could be annoying, but I want it to stick to the schedule. That's why I'm kind
Is
of.
that like when someone's like busy playing, busy on Gmod and like won't reply, so he's like messing up the schedule for scheduling an interview for this show?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Tweak.
Tweak.
No,
Not to name any. Tweak. Yeah.
I love him though. He's awesome. I mean, he's been my best friend since I joined the Brony fandom. So
You need like a cardboard cutout of him to put on the show or something, or maybe just like a snippet of his voice that you can like, add in every now and then.
if he
Just
actually
saying,
saw
awesome something,
if he saw a cardboard cutout of him in the background, he asked, "Why do you have that?"
and then you can say, "Well, next time you're not on my show, this is your stand-in."
No, I would make up some stupid excuse. I use it in bed. No, I would say that to him at first, just because we're like that to each other. We're weird. But
It could be worse. It could be not a cardboard. It could be like, instead of a cardboard cutout, it's like a how do you pronounce it? Daikumura or whatever.
Oh God. I know what you're thinking. He's not the kind of guy that says awesome. He's the kind of guy that says like he hates swag, but he'll just say swaggin' or something just to bother.
Yeah, you need a recording of him just saying swaggin' or something. You just cut that in every now and then, just so it feels like he's here.
And sometimes he says some of the weird stuff. Like one time I heard him say, "Ain't no one can twist their nipples to this." And it's like, why?
Why not?
I do love him. He's awesome, but I don't think he's the best with schedules. Okay.
It seems like a bad thing for a co-host.
Well, that's I'm gonna try and explain plans later in a different video, but this isn't the video for that right now. This video's about you.
Yes.
All right. Which I have been awkwardly asking questions and not saying stuff because I suck.
Because you've run out of questions. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
You said that a few times.
Yes, it's because I suck. If any of you see me punch me and tell me I suck. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Here's just a random question out of the blue. What is your favorite animal?
Honey badger.
Honey badger.
Don't care.
My favorite animal would have to be probably a dog.
Actually, no. It's probably a koala, because I'm Australian, right?
Awesome.
But also because like koalas are like cute and fluffy. Like, have you ever heard a koala scream though?
No, I've never even seen a koala in real life.
Yeah, it's kind of horrifying. Also, like a disturbingly large proportion of the koala population in Australia has syphilis.
Wow.
You learned something today, didn't you?
I did. The more you know. I'm gonna add the more you know. Whoops! I hit my mic. I'm gonna add the more you know animation right there. just for the hell of it, just because I want to. The more you know. All right. So I'd say this interview's gone on pretty long enough, and me awkwardly babbling. So, as an ender, what do you have anything like nice or anything to say to your fans out there?
Do I have something nice to say to my fans? Hell no. Thank you all for listening. You've been terrific. I love seeing your comments every day. It just gets me going in the morning. I don't know.
Keep on rocking, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for.
Actually, no. I will be serious. I want to thank them all for listening to my ridiculous music and loving it. And yes, that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on here and for putting up with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I promise if you're ever on this show again, I promise we'll be more prepared. I'm aware that this wasn't the best interview you probably had.
This is actually the very first interview I've had as the L Train.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I would have expected people to be...
I've had a couple of people ask me about interviews and then just it never happened. Like, because of scheduling and other stuff. So, yeah, there you go.
Well, see, that's the thing about me. I don't give up.
That's a good thing. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all enjoyed my awkwardly babbling because I promise next video.
I know I did.
Thank you. That means so much. Next interview, I promise I'll have written questions so that this won't be as awkward for me, and I won't be as embarrassed. But again, thank you, L Train, so much for being on here. It was a lot of fun, and
You're welcome.
yeah. Anyway, thanks again for watching, anyone. I'll put a link down in the L Train's, or I'll put a link down in the description for the L Train's channel if you are not a fan of his, if you're not a subscriber. If you are not, go check him out. I'm sure you will love him. And yeah, as usual, stay beautiful, stay nerdy, stay tuned, and stay brony, everyone. See ya.